Okay guys, what's up? This is DJ coming at you. Let me see if I can do this right. Okay, I'm about to do an oil change on my WR 2016 WR250R. I have approximately 6,480 miles on the bike. This will be my second official oil change. I did the break-in oil change at the specified mileage, and I kind of went over on my oil change. As you can see, I'm kind of like 2,000 miles over. So I got to get it done. Also too, the oil that I used first time around is just Yamaha lube. Bike runs great, ran great, runs great, but I normally use synthetic, which I'm about to put in the bike now. I'm using a Mobile 10W40V Twin. Very available at Walmart, $9 a quart. I'm going to be putting that in the bike, and yeah. But a lot of people get stressed out about going over 3,000 miles with oil. Oil is oil, I think. You know, don't get me wrong, you need to change it, but I don't think there's anything to panic over. You know, unless you're riding the bike extremely hard, which I don't do. I'm more of a commuter bike on it, you know, weekend warrior type of rider. I do some off-roading when I can, but it's not that prevalent where I am in Illinois. I am part of a motorcycle ATV park, a member of it rather. It's called SB's. I go there and ride when I want to go off-road, specifically circle track style. You know, it's got jumps, although I jump very little. I just like to trail a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be doing an oil change. My little review on the WR250R, and I'm coming from experience on like 13 years on a KLR 650. Okay, so I do have a little experience on dual sport bikes. I like this bike a lot. It does great as far as I'm concerned for my needs. I watch a lot of the other guys' videos, like Reveiw, who's a really nice guy, does really good videos. I'm not in that kind of atmosphere to where I can go off-road all the time, so I can't really give you a review on the bike from their perspective. You know, utilizing the suspension off-road consistently. You know, I wish I could do more of that, but you know, where I am, it doesn't allow that to be done. We don't have miles and miles of off-road riding to do, you know. So for somebody like me that just basically uses it to get around and go, you know, for rides on weekends when I can, this bike does excellent. It's the 250. I hear a lot of different reviews on this type of motorcycle. You got some guys that say they will take it on the highway, some guys say they won't. I'll take it anywhere. Matter of fact, I got a Honda Grom. I take that on the highway, you know, for long rides, and that's only a 50-mile-an-hour motorcycle. So I'm totally safe, feel totally confident on the WR. It does well, feels good on the highway. I would think that I would tell anybody before you start putting a bunch of options on the motorcycle, like different handlebars and stuff, ride it as is for 6 months, and then make up your mind. Don't waste your money buying a bunch of stuff that you don't need. Yeah, don't waste your money buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. You can simply do simple things to make the bike more comfortable for you, like adjusting the handlebars. Like I raised my handlebars more in an upright position. Feels fine to me. I hear guys saying they got bar risers and all this other. I don't know why. You know, I don't feel the need to get any of that stuff. And again, I'm coming from riding a KLR 650 for like 13 years. You know, now what is cool about this bike is that it's very light, and I'm really sold on the lightweight dual sport bikes, as opposed to you know, the KLR 650 or either the KTMs, those type of bikes. I like the lightweight, easier to, you know, you can have more fun off-road. Like, give you an example. Say you had the Africa Twin, Honda Africa Twin. That's a big bike, right? And you're at an off-road park. You know, this is going to be much more comfortable to ride around an enclosed area than an Africa Twin. Africa Twin's a huge bike. You know, that's more of an over-the-road bike. Although it can handle the abuse, but, you know, why go with something so heavy? I think this bike is more than fine. A lot of people You know, they don't think that 250 cc's will suffice. I totally disagree. As somebody who's been riding for years on a KLR 650, you know, I even I went from a KLR 650, I downgraded to a Honda Grom 125cc. I'll ride that on the highway, no problems. I just stay in the slow lane, you know, and that's only a 50-mile-an-hour motorcycle. I always call it my 50-mile-an-hour plus motorcycle. I'll be doing 50-something on the highway. But this bike here, you can easily cruise to 70, no problem. You got the 6-speed gearbox, which is really nice. I'm very happy with the bike. Actually, this would be like more of my dream bike, I would have to say, you know, which is really nice. You know, out of the big four, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, and Suzuki, this is by far the best 250 dual sport bike out of all of them, out of the Honda CL, whatever it is. This right here is the best out of those, and that's what I was looking for. I wanted something that I would not have to go back on, something that I didn't have to necessarily worry about upgrading the pegs on. It's, you know, it's a very solid bike, fully adjustable suspension, front and rear. You know, bulletproof engine, from what I've heard. You know, a lot of people have a lot of high remarks for the WR250R, so I'd like to encourage anybody to, you know, get the bike. It's the bomb. Also, this bike rack that I put on there, it's this carry right here is really nice too. They have another one made by some company called Tusk, but this one right here gives you the extra support over the Tusk. The Tusk rear, I think it's a Tusk rear rack, whatever, aluminum rack. It's got like 4 mounting holes. This has like 6. It takes full advantage of the subframe and connects further in for more support. So you got the GV bag in the back, which is awesome. What else can I say about the Yamaha 250R? One weekend I did like 400 miles, Chicago and back, round trip, whatever. Had a good time on it, ran great. Also too, guys, this bike is radiator cooled. For those of you who don't know, it does have a radiator on it, which is nice. It gives you that extra protection. Aluminum frame. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get rid of this bike, you know. I don't think I'll ever be getting rid of this bike. One of the main features of this bike that will make you happy, again, is the lightweight. And also the low maintenance. You know, you don't have to do your first valve check until like 26,000 miles. I'm at 6,000 miles. Okay. And that's 6,000 miles with one oil change, by the way. I did the break-in mileage of, I think it's either 500 or 1,000 miles. And after that, it's Yamalube. So I'm like, according to what people would say, I'm like 2,000 miles over, runs fine. But I'm about to do my oil change today with Mobil 10W40 V-Twin motorcycle oil. So, okay, that's my review of the 2016 WR250R. Highly recommended bike. Haven't done really anything to it as far as cosmetically. Runs great like it is. For me, the suspension is fine, especially on the road. And in Illinois, they have a lot of bad roads. At least where I am in Illinois, they have a lot of bad roads. So that suspension really soaks up the bumps and stuff. So, yeah, it's a nice bike to have. And I would tell any, you know, I'd like to say, don't get too caught up in the CCs of a motorcycle. I think if you're, you know, unless you just want to go super fast all the time, you know, like I said, I had a KLR 650 for 13 years. You hear some people will tell you that this bike is terrible on the highway. That's not true. My Honda Grom is not terrible on the highway. You know, it all depends on if you feel that you need to have the ability to jet up to 80, 90 miles an hour really fast or consistently, then this probably wouldn't be the bike for you. If you're comfortable cruising high speeds of 65 to 70 miles an hour, this bike is fine. Maybe even 80. I've cruised 80 on it. So maybe this bike is just fine for you. So don't get all hyped up into the more CCs you got, the better. That's not necessarily true. You know, if this bike breaks down on you, it's going to be a lot easier to push than the KTM 1190 or 1150, whatever it is, because of the lightweight. And even more so, the Honda Grom. I have that bike also. It breaks down on you. It's so light. It's a dream if you have to push your bike. Honda Grom would even be better than this, but of course you don't have the power on the Grom. So yeah. Okay, guys. This is DJ over and out. Hope you enjoyed the review.